Hello everyone, this is Gregory again with part 4 of our Phantasy Star 4 90% no major glitches tutorial. So we have gotten as far as Dark Force 3. We're on the home stretch now. All we have is Rycross and Profound Darkness. So at this point, I think we should just get started. So after you've beaten Dark Force 3, all you have to do is teleport over to Kadari and hit up the spaceport. So, of note, you do not have to use the healing point here. You automatically use the one in Rycross after the cutscene. So, just come up there, go to the... here, and we'll hit this cutscene. So, in this area we have a bit of item management and also some macros that we gotta get through. That's gonna hopefully get us through all of this without too much issue. Alright, so we land. This part has a lot of cutscenes attached to it. So once we're done with this cutscene, we will be collecting the guard sword and the guard shield in here. It creates some macros to get us started. And then we're going to start with the strength tower. The main reason why we are going there first is A, the boss is actually pretty easy. 2, we get some of the head armor for everybody. That adds up to being their best that's available. But third and most importantly would be the guard rod. We use the wood cane, or wood rod, or wood cane very early. So we got the guard shield here for healing, but we need something with a little bit more oomph now. And the guard rod, when it is used as an item, will actually cast Gisar. So it'll heal everybody that's a living person. And here's our guard shield, so or sword. So let's get that out of the way here. So we'll equip our guard sword here. And Rika would gain the guard shield over the Genocide Claw. And once you're done with that, we can just Ryuka right out of here. So, we're outside, and to get us where we're needing to go next, where is Hydrofoil? Down there. We're going up and left for the first one. So, anything on here, typically we'll run. So, here we are. And actually, I found that you can actually run against the edge of that there while in a vehicle, and you won't actually enter the place at all. Alright, so here we go. We're in Strength Tower. First up, we just go oh, wait, nope. Sorry. I forgot the macros. So there's 2 macros we're going to use. The first one will be just clearing stuff in general. So we have Rune on Hewn. Oops. Well, let's get this correct here. Rune on Hewn, Rika on Disrupt, Chaz on Air Slash and Red Roll Attack. And then we'll use our macro G to actually create an insta-kill macro set. So we have Eliminate with Rika, and Rune, we'll use DM, and then the rest attack. There we go. That will cover what we need. So just straight up, we hit the first stairs there. Once you hit the second floor, you head straight left, get the stairs here, and then on this floor, you go down. This will get us to the guard rod. After that, and then head right. So here, we can use macro A. And hope. So just as a warning, Rycross, some monster groups will just straight kill you if they want to. So I would highly recommend before entering any of the areas to save ahead of time, because you may have to do the walk. I've done the Courage Tower where I've had to do the walk 3 times because I just got straight blown up by things. So, and boop, here we go. So here's the guard rod, the most important item that we're gonna need. So, whoops. So first things first, we're gonna equip it on the, we're gonna do the same thing what we did with the power shield earlier and the leather shield, where we're gonna swap the guard rod in the wood cane's position. So we equip it onto Rune, then equip the wood cane, and then we equip his previous equipment of the size shields. So once we're done, we have a guard rod right at the very top, so it's nice and handy. And after that, we can just discard the wood cane. We don't need that anymore. Now that we have this item, we can actually create the macros that we need for the rest of this area. So the first one is going to be a very basic healing one that involves Rika using the guard rod. And from there, everyone else will just be doing attacks. So Ren will do Flare, Rune will do Giwat, and Chaz will do Crosscut. Just as a warning as well. Actually, no, I'll talk about that warning after I'm done with the macros here, since I don't want to break up the thought here. So macro C is going to be a big healing one. So we're actually going to have Rika on Gisar, Ren will do Recover, and Rune will do Nawat, and Chaz will use the Guard Rod. There we go. So that's going to be the big one we need for when everybody needs healing and everyone will be topped up in the end. Then macro D will just be a living things detailing. So Ren will do Flare, Rika will do Gisar, Rune will continue with his Nawat shenanigans, and Chaz will be the one using the Guard Rod. Finally, macro E will be our all-out damage. So we got Flare, Double Slash, Nawat again, and Crosscut. So that covers all that. Excuse me. Let's make sure everything is looking a-okay. So once we're done with that, actually we just Heinous right out. And now we save again, and then here we go. Now for the real climb. So in this case, now instead of going straight left, we'll be going down and around, and we want that treasure chest because it has a Guard Claw for Rika, which we'll be using later. Here we go. This is an example where we would want to use the insta-kill macros because these guys are pretty quick and kind of tricky to run from, but easy peasy to kill. So once you get the Guard Claw, you just backtrack a little bit, then head up to the stairs here, and then we ignore that chest up there and we head down and follow the path until we find the stairs that'll be on our left. Ow. See? If that guy did 2 Tandles, we probably would have had a pretty healthy party wipe there. Okay, so let's fix that damage that was done. There we go. And there's our stairs that we wanted. And then we just go down to here. And we're at the boss floor already. So this boss is all physical damage. So this is another example where you have to know that we need D-Ban for our physical defense, but we don't need barrier. So we have a few options what we want to do. Actually, not really. We only have one set of options. But this is actually a pretty straightforward fight. Once you get the rhythm going of what you're looking for, the main part will be once we're all buffed up, we don't want Chaz to be dropping below 40 HP, and we don't want Ren dropping below 8 or 90 HP. If one of those conditions are met, we're going full on healing. So let's actually get ourselves started. So we're going to start with Ren on Flare since we don't really need a barrier, so we might as well get some damage in. We will get some Saner off, and we're going to have Rune use the Guard Rod in hopes that Devars here will do his attack, but then Rune will be slow enough to actually do the healing after the fact. And then once that's... and then Chaz will use the Power Shield, because that's what he likes to do. There we go. That was what we're looking for. There's a Guard Rod, so it heals for 60s. So it actually gets rid of a lot of the damage done. So we'll use Flare again on there, on Ren. And then Rika will use D-Ban just so we can get that up and going. Guard Rod again on Rune, just to top everyone else up. And, you know, we can just use a Ray Blade for funsies here. So this time we should be faster. Now we'll get the Guard Rod off ahead of time to top everybody up. D-Ban's up, we're protected. Now we're going to take significantly less damage. So this is where the macro B comes into play initially, because this will allow us to top up people, if not mitigating the damage as we slowly get chipped down, and then also do some damage. So let's get... oh, that reminds me, that was the one thing I was wanting to mention earlier. Holy type attacks like Ifes do only 1 damage against Devars and Salus in the other area. So if you're feeling, hey, I'll do Grand Cross, don't. You're going to have a bad time. You just effectively wasted a turn. So let's get onto our routine here. Disrupt R again. So we are down to 78 on Ren. So that actually meets our trigger that we were looking for. So we only have 1 with Ren recovering. So we might as well just go for the full top up for everybody as kind of a full reset. And then we'll be doing macro Bs again until he gets someone down, Ren either down to 90 or less, or Chaz to 40 or less. And then we just repeat over and over again. Once you're set up, it's an incredibly simple fight. So yeah, we're still in good shape because he's just loving the AoE right now. So we can probably take one more punch, and then this will be where we gotta do the other macro again. No, we're actually still good, so we can actually do one more. There we go. Now we can switch over to the C and then just get everybody topped up. Yeah, honestly, there's not much to say on this fight. He may randomly decide to just single target somebody, but it's not really that big of a deal. Otherwise, yeah, this is all it is, just pumping damage in and out healing is damage. And there's our cutoff again, so we'll just do a quick top up. Macro B again once we're all topped up. And we're done. I said, yeah, very straightforward fight. In fact, I would say that the monsters in here that you fight along the way are potentially harder than he is. So, while we're here, we'll get our Palma ring, our Moto ring, and our Dezo ring. So, we'll equip those. So, Ren will get the Palma ring, Rika will get the Moto ring, and Rune will get the Dezo ring. We don't have one for Chaz yet. And once you're done, heal us out. And we'll head over with Ryuka back to the Silence Temple. Go inside, and we'll use the Healing Circle heal just to top up. And then we get the heck out of dodge. Oh yeah, can't do that. So now for the Courage Tower, we go down and right. So we'll get back in our trusty Hydrofoil. Run away from things as we encounter them. There we go. So this one, we only need one trip up rather than two like we did earlier. So off the top here, we're actually just going to go to the left, and we got to pick up an easy Stardew. And once that's done, we'll head up, and then we'll go right at the fork here. And we got the stairs that we want to climb. Once that's done, we come up and around. Oh, here's where we need to kill some things off here. How nice of them to all attack Ren. That's very convenient. So I'm going to level out of it, which is kind of handy. Skill, Ren, recover. And we just pick up this chest because it has another Stardew. Because we can't go wrong with additional Stardews. Oh, that's part of the reason why this place sucks. Because these guys have instant attacks. They will kill like that. And as you saw as well, they can crit Rune and just straight kill him. So unfortunately, this actually killed both Chaz and Rune, which really sucks. So that Moondew that we were talking about earlier, let's bring that back, and we'll bring Chaz back here, and then we'll use Chaz to bring Rune back, and let's start getting healing here. So here normally we would just take the stairs that we see on the left. However, if you find that you're short on money, or if you just want additional money for the upcoming Profound Darkness, just for his additional buffer, you have some options. You can actually follow the path. Actually, we might as well just talk about it and show it here. So if you follow the path and up around to those stairs there, we can actually find some items that we can sell. But first things first, we just gotta get through all this stuff. We're probably good on health. Go up to here, and just take the stairs. And I believe the chests are both in this section. This could be bad. Okay. Okay, Rune lives, that's good. A lot of experience, though, for what we got out of it. Let's do some quick top-ups here. Because, again, I respect the fights in here. They do a lot of damage. So the items that you can pick up here to sell are the guard mail. And another item once we're... Oh, ambushed, great. Not disrupt, so let's go for the eliminates to see if that will work. Leave rune alone. Okay, good, you left the rune alone. Okay, good, the eliminate works. DM did not work, that sucks. Not even sure if the... This could be an experiment. I'm curious if the eliminate will actually work against those guys. Actually, we got EFS. Bye, Ren. Bye. Oh, no, you're gonna be okay. So maybe... Well, eliminate has a questionable chance to hit. Pow. Get crushed there. And the other item is a guard armor. So, we will actually... just leave. Normally you shouldn't have to exit like this, but I took a bit of a pounding, and I'm not too happy with my resource usage at the moment. So I'm actually going to go back and just top up before I do my climb back up again. So that was 2 of the items you can pick up as extra cash if you want to. There is a 3rd item that's a bit easier to reach as well. I'll show you where that is as well. So we'll bring on hydrofoil. And another save before going in. And we'll just continue on the path that we were on earlier. Nope, well. These guys are still a pain. We will just off them real quick. Okay, shoot, by the way, because that was starting to get annoying. This encounter rate is brutal, though. Holy moly. Let's see if we can get away from some of it here. So, continue back to where we kind of went off the trail here to pick up some additional items. Can you kill? Nope. Can DM kill? Nope, apparently not. But I can kill Chaz, apparently. Okay, Eliminate can't kill those. So as a fair warning here, this section and Profound Darkness, well, the Edge, I should say, are probably my weakest points. I'm not 100% certain on everything, but... Ah, crap, that was the wrong thing. Okay, here we go, walking again. Hey, examples of things that can go wrong, such as, hey, I want to cast a certain spell, but I cast something else by accident. We didn't burn through that many resources, so we'll just go back up again. So this time we're actually going to go to the stairs we're hoping to go to. Eliminate missing again. There we go, DM hit that time, that's good. And go up the stairs here. And this time normally you'd go up, but if you go right, you'll find another chest that you can grab. Oh, boy, ow. Poisoned. Bye, Chaz. This is how dumb this place is. Again, people will just die for no good reason. Hey, we got a Stardew. Wow, okay. Reaver. And Gyres. And Anti-for there. So, funnily enough, we're so far ahead on experience that Rika's actually a full level ahead on where we kind of want her. She'd normally be 35 going to Profound Darkness. Now she's 36. So, we're going to be pretty beefy at the end here. Ow. Ow, 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 let me run, please. Thank you. Oh, boy. A lot of healing required here. So here's that other chest. And it contains a guard robe. That's another item we can sell. And then we just walk back to where our stairs were, and then we just continue up. From here, it's more or less this single path to the boss. This is actually the last floor for the boss. There we go. We made it. Hooray! Okay, Salu's is a bit of a trickier fight, but by the same... It can go off the rails very quickly, especially if it can get something off before you can get barrier up. You don't need D-ban, but if barrier doesn't go up before doing, say, a Tandle or something like that, you're going to have dead people. Almost without question. So we're all healed up. We have all the equipment we need. We have our macro set. Here we go. So for our first... Where's my mouse? There's my mouse. There we go. Get started here. So we'll start off with a barrier. We'll do Saner as usual. Actually, yeah, Saner. And just in case, just throw out the guard rod. And Chaz will get the power shield. Okay, so that's an ideal start. We got everything up that we wanted. So now we're just going into raw damage here. So actually, we actually have a macro for that. Haha, all the damage. Because we don't need anything else up right now. And it's a short enough fight that Rika getting the power shield is probably not going to benefit us too much. See, that's where the big damage is. Like, that's a holy shit. That is a crap ton of damage. So we'll use our macro B here just to offset some of that damage. We're not going to be able to do that again, I think, because it will hurt a lot. And Ren's actually probably in a... Whoo, buddy. Okay, so... Yeah, this will counter all that damage. We'll use our macro C. And Ren's starting to get low enough that I start to get worried a little bit when taking the Hume damage, because I think it hits 140s, 150s. Yeah, 160 actually. You can even hit even harder. So that actually gets very troublesome. So we'll do that. We'll do... Actually, Rika will be the one that uses the guard rod, and we'll do Gi, or not Watt, and then we'll go on to crosscuts again. Just, you gotta keep the damage on, and we hope for instances like this. So actually, we'll use Macro B again, because it allows us to top up everybody with the guard rod and continue bringing up the damage. Since 3 people will be doing damage total. And Rune and Rika seem to be a bit of a wash for damage at the moment. No, there we go. So that's a free Macro E. Yeah, Flailies are fantastic for us to see. Hunes and Tandles, they're kind of scary. So this is the example where the Macro D comes into play with the Tandles, because Ren actually takes very little damage from it, but everyone else takes a significant amount of damage. So we can actually use the Gisar and Guard Rod to heal everyone else up while Ren and Rune continue doing the damage. All those lovely Hunes. Which force all this healing. I think one of my last attempts, this guy was just doing Hune after Hune after Hune, and I was getting terrible. Like, I think I got the kill in the end, but there was a lot of damage coming in that I just was feared that I couldn't get through at all. But so far, this one's been alternating things nicely, so we could get some nice damage in. There's that Tandle. Yeah, there we go. Once again, Ren takes very little damage. Everyone else gets healed up nicely from this. So, there you go. That's actually terrifying. There we go. We're done. It's over. Chaz hits his level requirement of 31 that we wanted. Rune is also another one that we want to be at 31 as well, which is... So actually, everyone's kind of at their levels that they need to be. So, we will pick up the Rika ring, and we'll pick up the Algo ring. So now we actually do some last menuing before doing anything else. I just like doing it here because I'm already equipping stuff. So Chaz is actually going to equip 2 Reflect Shields. We're going to need those shortly. And then Rika is going to equip the Psy Crown. The reason why we equip the Psy Crown is for the higher mental stat, which makes her Saner actually stronger. So it reduces the odds, like we get more agility, and therefore with higher agility, we have less of a chance of being outturned in the coming areas. So that's the reason why we use that. And then once we're done, Keen us out. And apparently there's a bug in the game where the cutscene that you can encounter next won't launch correctly and the game soft locks. So a way to get around that, just quickly enter and leave the tower real quick and then you'll be a-okay. And once that's done, just come right on in. So while we're getting through this very, very long cutscene, we can talk about what's coming up for the Profound Darkness prep. And in this preparation, we'll be doing a few things. First up, we kind of did part of it already by changing the equipment on Rika and on Chaz. Because now we're going to Mies and do the intended shopping trip that we wanted to do. I pointed out in the last video that if after Dark Forest 2 you're short on star dues, or anything else honestly, that the shop opens up that you can buy any of the dues in the game for. Now we're going to do it, and we're doing the big shopping for, this is 100% for Profound Darkness. This is all we're preparing for. Once we've completed that shopping trip, we will get Chaz's brand new sword. And with that sword, that will trigger the set of cutscenes that will send us back to Motavia, where Profound Darkness has actually started to break through into reality. We'll get our 5th character, Kira, because Kira is going to be boss for what we're going to be doing next. We'll be doing our last bit of menuing before going into the Edge, which is going to be a lot of equipment changing. Actually, it won't be a lot of equipment changing. There will be 8 macros making. We're making a full new set of 8 going into this. And then we'll continue on through the Edge. And once we're done in the Edge, we'll do our last bit of menuing prior to Profound Darkness. And we will, which will involve changing Rika's gear and also changing to macros. And once that's done, we go into Profound Darkness and we pray, because that's all we can do. There we go. So this cutscene's starting to get to the end here. So, oh, whoops. So yeah, make sure not to. If you hold down B, you'll leave this by accident. But we want to go to Dezolis first, as I said. It's because we'll be heading over to Mies right away. And we can just grab this as well. Alright, probably don't really need it because we can pick it up on the way back, but that's okay. Ryuka over to Mies. And head up and right toward this shop here. Alright, the selling. So there are 4 items that we do not want to sell. Guaranteed. Regardless of what strategy you're going to be using going forward. The guard rod we have to keep. The power shield we have to keep. The guard claw we have to keep. And the guard shield you have to keep as well. Actually, I gotta sneeze. Okay, there we go. So, the guard shield is already on Rika right now, so we're not in danger of selling it right now. So there's really 3 items we want to keep. But for now, let's start selling everything else. So we'll keep that, we can get rid of the flame sword, we can get rid of the ceramic helm, the silver circlet can go, the lacquer dagger can go, the guard sword, because we're getting replacement swords soon anyways, so that's okay. Cyber suit can go. We're gonna have a lot of money, by the way, because we picked up all those extra items, so the genocide claw can go. Like, normally, for me, I end off at around 110 to 120k. Meseta. Get rid of the lacquer sword. The elastic gear can go. Lacquer circlet can go. Keeping those. Guard mail. Again, the guard mail is worth almost 30k on its own. It's monstrous how much it's worth. The guard armor, not as much, but it's still some bonus money. And the guard robe as well is worth a healthy chunk. So we got a stupid amount of cash to play with here. Just being sure, so we still have our guard claw, we have our guard rod, we have the power shield, everything else is gone. So normally you'd buy 2 to 3 soul dues, depending on how many, well, just in case, because we actually haven't used any yet. So we're actually sitting on 5 soul dues right now, so I think we're going to be okay. And then after that, actually no, let's just buy 1 more for good measure. After that, we are buying soul dues until we are out of cash, because this is the last shopping trip that we're doing. And this is, again, another example where if you still have the Moon Dew, by some miracle, you can sell it if you are within 2,500 of another Stardew. But we already used it, and we're not even at that threshold for cash, so we're good. So just to give an example of how over we are right now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Soul Dews, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 Stardews. We are, like, we have almost twice the Stardews, I think, that I would normally have right now. So we're A-okay. Hopefully. It all comes down to what Dark Force, Profound Darkness Phase 3 wants to do to us. So now we're done our shopping. Now we're going to the Esper Mansion. This is now your warning. Actually, we'll do that in a second. Here. So we're just going to work our way to the back. Into Lutz's room. So this is where I like to stop here. Save if you want to, but this is the warning part. Before you pick up the sword, you'll see where it is, so you'd hit normally the C button on your controller to access it. You're just by yourself with Chaz. Unequip these shields. We need them later. This is your warning. That's why we have a save here, in case you forget something. So I'll show you what occurs. Because what will happen is Chaz will grab the sword, and it will overwrite whatever is there. It doesn't unequip them at all, it just, poof, they're gone. Because those shields we want to give to Kira once we get her in the party. So, because we're not here to fight, we're just here to run. And there's not much further to go. So, I like to stop right here, just to make sure. Unequip those, take your final step, press C. We're good. Alright, so we're getting Chaz's shiny new sword. And he's got some more cutscenes to go through. Because once we get out of here, we'll get a notification like, hey, there's a problem in Matovia. And then we'll just head over to Tyler Spaceport. And that will continue the cutscenes. Alright, almost there. For all to go. Alright, so once again, because you cannot use Ryuka or Hinus out of this room, you actually have to leave this room. Ryuka over to Tyler. And Spaceport. And the game takes over. So, hey, we got Kira and Raja. They're backing up on their feet. They're joining us for the ride. And it automatically selects going to Matavia. We land. And there's everybody now. Everybody that's been part of our party is here now. And we're just going through the shtick here. It's like, yep, Found Darkness is breaking through and showing up now. We gotta go deal with it ourselves before it gets too out of control. Oh, and I forgot to equip the Algo Ring on Chaz as well. That should have been done after we completed Salu's and we were equipping the shields. We would also equip that Algo Ring onto Chaz. So, once we get over here... Are you sure you want to take Kira? Yes, please. And finally, we'll hit this up just to top everyone up. Here's one of our last menus. So we'll change our order to Ren, Kira, Rika, Rune, Chaz. We will change our equipment on Kira to equip the Reflect Shields. So we're done with the ordering, we're done with equipment, we're on to macros now. We're just going top to bottom on this. So the first 3 macros are going to be single target healing with Metis, and it depends on which phase. Macro A will be used for phase 1, Macro B will be used for phase 2, and Macro C will be used for phase 3. So let's build those. So it's always going to start with Metis. That's always going to be the start point. And in phase 1 and phase 2, we don't want to burn a lot of our big damage abilities. We want to save those for phase 3. So we're going to be doing a lot of attacking here. So it's actually going to be Ren attack, Rika attack, Rune will do Nefwa, and Chaz will attack. So that's our phase 1 macro. Phase 2 will be, macro 2, phase 2 will be very similar as well. Metis. The only difference is Ren is going to do Flare, and then Rika will attack. We'll do Nefwa again, and Chaz will attack. And then for the phase 3 one, we go all out. So Metis, Flare, Double Slash, Nefwa, Crosscut. It's everything. All of our big damage abilities we're going to be using on this. So that's for healing living party members, typically. Metis, it can be used for light damage on Ren, but Metis tends to not completely heal Ren during these fights. So that's where actually our macro D comes into play, which is Ren doing, not barrier, recover. And then everyone else will be doing their attacks. So, and this is assuming for phase 3 again. So this is where, this one is meant to be used in phase 3 exclusively because of all the abilities we'll be using. So Rika will do Double Slash, Chaz will do Crosscut, Kira will do Nefwa, Rune will do Nefwa as well. Macro E is going to be our Megid healing macro. So it involves with Kira, who will be using one of our plethora of Stardews. Ren will recover because he's still going to be taking a lot of damage. And Rune is actually going to be the healer to top us up as well, and with the guard rod. And then Rika will double slash and Chaz will crosscut. Then it goes on to macro F. F is going to be our initial buffing macro when we start phase 1 of Profound Darkness, but it's also going to be used whenever we get cancelled, or canceller is used on us in phase 3. So this is going to be all the buffs. So we're going to be using Barrier on Ren, Kira will do Warlaw, Rika will do Saner, Rune will do Nefwa, because he doesn't have anything else to do, and Chaz will do Power Shield. So that's 6 of the ones that we'll be using for Profound Darkness. We're going to be making 2 macros that we're going to be using along our walk here. So the first one will be with NG. This is going to be a insta-killing macro. So this is going to involve Rika using Eliminate, Chaz will attack, Rune will use DM, and then the rest attack. The reason why we have Chaz going before Rune, because Chaz is just attacking. In here, Chaz's sword actually has a chance to insta-kill the monsters in here. So him using it is actually a bit of a freebie. And it means also with these 3 things, if there's 3 monsters in it, we may be able to just kill all 3 in one go without too much worry. The second one will involve Rika using Disrupt, Chaz attack, and then the rest attack. And it's going to be used for very specific monsters that we encounter in there. So we've set up our initial 8 macros. We'll change G and H later. But our equipment's changed. We're in the right order. We got macros. Let's go. So if you want, you can just actually Ryuka over to Mile. And once you're there, you can just use the Land Rover and just head right down. So you don't have to worry about anything. So this is your final chance to save. As another point of note, as you notice in some of the macros that Kira is using Nefwa, she gains that skill at 33. So if your experience gets a little wonky, I've actually encountered sometimes where Kira is actually level 32 coming into this. If you need some quick experience, it doesn't hurt to use Rune to go over to Nalia again, and then use the Hydrofoil to go east to Valhalla Fort. And you can do a little bit of grinding in there again to get the last bit of experience that you need. But right now, again, Kira's 34, we're so far ahead. Ren's okay, Rika's a level ahead, and Rune and Chaz are actually on the bang on levels they want to be, especially Rune. Rune being 31 is big because it actually gives a lot of survivability to him all of a sudden, because he actually gets a big jump in HP. Okay, now for the fun part, the walk through the edge. This is actually going to be fairly tricky, and I'm probably going to be making up a lot of things as I go here. But otherwise, I'm just hoping that everything goes a-okay. So in here, we're getting 4 of these dimension type worms against. Ow! This is the ouchies. And again, we can run away from them, but they ambushed us, so that was a bit of a pain. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to use some healing love here. Actually, we didn't need to use that on Rune, that was a mistake. And Ren can recover because he took a chuckload of damage. So we just follow this one path here. Again, Outer Beasts, run. So that's the first room. The second room, we go up at the first fork, and we just follow it through. On this third one, you go straight down, and keep going down and following the path. I think you can run for these? Yeah. So we're done with that room. This one, we just go straight left. We ignore the fork that goes up. So these guys are kind of tricky to run from. So this is where our Macro OG comes into play, and hopefully we eliminate it and get rid of it. So in case you don't want to burn through Kira's resource here, you can use some of her Guy Reses, and also you can use Chaz's TP as well to do some healing as well, just to spread it around a little bit. So in this room, we actually take 2 lefts. So here's our first left, here's our second left. And from here, we just follow the one path. And this one will lead up to a room where we just go straight up. Run. Thank you. Whew. Okay. So this room, we just go straight up because there's no other path. And that... Ooh, sneaky. Because this is the last room you can get random encounters in. This room has no random encounters in it. So just be wary of where that square is to teleport. Because once you commit to that square, you're going forward. So, for our last bit, we're actually going to change the equipment on Rika. We're going to equip the Guard Claw over the Guard Shield, because in this fight, she can actually pump out a lot of damage using 2 claws. With a Guard Shield, she can be surprisingly tanky as well, but at this stage, especially with how much HP she has, she should be able to survive almost everything thrown at her. And now we actually change our last 2 macros as well. So, Macro G is going to be our pure all-out damage ability. So we're going to do Ren with Flare, Kira with Nafwa, Rika with Double Slash, Rune with E-Fest, and Chaz with Crosscut, because we want to set up for a Grand Cross. And then our Macro H is going to be our Resing macro for some situations. So Rune will cast Reaver, Chaz will cast Reaver, not Nathu, as much as that would be funny. We'll do Ren using Trimate. How many Trimates do we have left? Did we actually burn all of our Trimates? Nope, there's one. Okay, our sole Trimate that we can use. So hopefully we don't have to use that macro too much. And these ones are just Double Slash and doing Nafwa. Alright. We got our macros done. Our equipment's set. Everyone's healed up. Let's give it a try and see how this goes. So I'll be brutally honest right now. There's a chance that I may have to go do the walk entirely again and again and again. Because if this boss wants to end the run, she'll do it at a blink of an eye. All it takes is one canceler mention and your entire run is just killed. Nothing you can do about it. So we'll be starting off with our buffing macro of Macro G. Because we want every single defensive up. We want Saner, we want Power Shield, and we want it all. So let's see what happens. So we get a Fire Breath. That's an easy start. So now we're just doing chip damage. So this thing doesn't have the most HP. So we'll do attack on Ren. We'll do Nafwa here. Rika is going to want to use the Power Shield now because we want her to get in as much damage as possible later. And we'll continue with Nafwa, and then Chaz will attack. So with the 2 Power Shields now, these 2 are powerhouses. Like, Chaz auto-attacking is 350 and higher. It hits for a lot. Okay. Let's start. I would rather not burn our soul macro E. So in this case, we're actually going to do because we have a plethora of soul dews in here. I'm okay with using it. If I had more trimates, I would be much more comfortable using this macro. I'd rather save it for when it's Chaz or Rune that get knocked out. But you know, let's play with it, assuming that we have very few soul dews and we want to save those for later. So we'll do, because also this works out because since Rika was the one that died, we don't waste a double slash, and Kira was just going to use Nafwa anyways. So this is actually perfectly fine, and this is not a bad time to use it because it's relatively safe. Because this one or version only knows single target attacks. So as I stated before in a previous video, when you die, the only thing you lose is the Saner buff. Your barrier stays with you, your Warlock / D-Band stays with you, your power shield stay with you. So Rika is actually not all that debuffed at all. So now we actually got a good thing here and have Ren being single targeted. So we'll do a recover on him. We'll do Nafwa on Kira. We will do Saner with Rika just to finish getting everything buffed back up again. More Nafwa, and then another attack. So with that, we'll actually be fully buffed up, and we'll be fully healed again before its next attack. So we're sitting good right now. We had Fire Breath, that's an easy one. So we can just do attack, Nafwa, attack, Nafwa, attack. So 273, so a little bit of variance attached to this here. Then Rika with the 2 claws, just hitting for 329 without a care in the world. So, Shadow Breath on Kira is good because she can absorb it pretty nicely, as you just saw right there. She's 1 level ahead. That actually would have killed her, of all things. So, this is actually where we have that Macro A come into play. Since this is Phase 1, we can use Macro A to heal Kira up. Alright, so we have pushed through Phase 1. This is the phase that actually scares me a bit because there's a lot of damage coming in and they can go bad pretty quick. But we're in good shape right now, so we'll do... Now we can start using our flares on Ren. So we'll do that, we'll do Nafwa, attack, Nafwa again, and attack. This is the phase that I get antsy if Chaz starts missing because it slows down the phase so much. Okay, there we go. So that's a good start. So, actually, this is where our macro B comes into play, because that was fairly low damage. And Kira's meta should be able to fix that on Ren, because Metis actually works on androids. 326, boom. Normally his max HP is 315 for me, so having that a little bit more is actually kind of interesting. And he just wants to keep doing that, so we can do that same macro again. Macro B to top up Ren. Okay, now here comes the damage. This is where we actually have to start rationing out what we're doing. Normally, in this phase, what we would be doing is recover on Ren. We'll have Kira use the Guard Rod. Rika is going to use Gisar. And then Nafwa, and then attack. So that will get us healed up from that AoE. Our goal is to not have Rika's TP drop below 50. Because we want the Saners for Phase 3 later on. If her TP would drop below 50, we would actually switch over to using the Stardews instead to keep everything going. So we had the same turn, so we'll do the same thing as well. So Ren on recovery, Kira on Guard Rod, Gisar, Nafwa, and attacks. We just gotta keep pumping in damage no matter what. So far, we're getting some good damage in. Youch! That's a hit. Do I have... No, I am actually out of Trimates completely here. So we're not going to use that macro anymore. We'll start using our Soul Dews. So Ren will typically be our item user because he's overall our lowest damage, if not tied. And he's actually fairly quick when he's under Saner, so we'll put that to use. Then Nafwa, attack, and attack. So strangely enough, I'm actually hoping that we do not push during this one. Crap. So, we have a small problem of Rune is actually very slow right now. Like, exceptionally slow right now. And he's one of our healers, so we want the full Saner buff on him. Normally at this stage, if everyone was alive and everyone was healed up, this is where we would actually use Macro G to get in a lot of free damage. But I'm not feeling comfortable with that, so we're going to work around that. So Flare, or Ren will use Flare. We will continue with the Nafwa chain. However, we're actually going to use Saner on Rika. And then Nafwa there, and then we will... Because it's a free turn, we're actually going to... the crosscuts I'd like to save more for our macros, so I'm going to use Rayblade instead, just as our opener. It sucks that we don't get as big of an opener like we would normally, but it's something. And even though the Rayblade, like 320, that looks worse than some of the damage I was doing earlier. Wow, okay. I see how this is going to be game. That was a high damage roll on Rune. That was a very unfortunate high damage roll. Hit him for 150. So we got a lot of healing we need to do now. And rezzing as well. So in this case, we're going to have Ren recover. We're going to have Kira on Stardew, as if we were using the Stardew macro, the macro E. So still Stardew. We'll have Rika use the Guard Rod. And we'll have Chaz use a Soul Dew on Rune to get him back up and going again. This fight's all about management of what's going on and just keeping an eye on who needs what and when. So single target damage against Red, that buys us time, that's good. So we'll use a recover for this. We'll have, let's look at our HP now. So just, you don't need to, but sometimes it's kind of nice just to have a quick top up, and I think Rika and Chaz are just down a little bit on HP. It's not much, but all it takes is one Medjit damage roll to spike high, or the single target damage to go medium to high, that you could just be losing people. And we're riding such a thin edge on our HP values that being topped up is not a bad thing. So I actually feel a little bit more comfortable just throwing out a Guard Rod early while we have a bit of a turn to stabilize what's going on. So Kira will do that. We'll cast Saner again to get Rune back up to speed again. Nafwa on Rune, and we'll use our last Rayblade. Back about the Rayblade, why we're using it is since skills don't miss, we want to make sure we're getting consistent damage. Okay, good. That's an excellent place to be now. So now that we are back to normal, everyone is sped up, everyone has their buffs up right now. We're going to go back to our macros, and since a living person took damage, we'll use Kira with Metis and all of our damage for our macro C. So we'll just go through that real quick. And we'll see what other pain gets sent our way. Is he Rika hitting for 403, like 483? Like, see, that was still a high damage roll. We had no control over that. But that's why we have Soul Dews. Nafwa, and we can throw it a crosscut at this point, I think. I think that would be fine. Just need to keep piling on the damage as best as we can. Definitely doing a lot of off-script things at the moment. Okay, so we're already on the Medjits. So we're going to do something very similar to what our macro E is, but minus Rika's double slash. We actually I want to get another Saner out, because people are just being offed without a care in the world right now. So we'll get a Stardew going from Kira, Saner, no. no, Guard Rod, that's Rune's job. And we'll get switched up to an Air Slash, just to spread it out, because the crosscuts are predominantly in the macros, and normally we're playing off the macros on a very regular basis. So I'd like to keep that going. Okay, so, yeah, Rune's dead again. It's starting to get a little silly here. Like, the snipes that have been occurring have been dumb. So we'll have Ren on Resin Duty, Nafwa, double slash, and we'll go on another crosscut. Unfortunately, I think I have to just switch over to using the Swift Helm instead on Rune just to keep him going. Just so we can keep Rika doing damage, because she's a powerhouse in this fight. Okay. So it's asleep, but not awake. That means we want Rune to do Arouse, therefore Rika is the one that has to do Saner. So we'll go do that. So Ren's okay, so we can do Flare. But now we can't do Saner because we don't know who's going to go first. Because if we apply the Saner buff before Kira wakes up, you don't get the agility bonus. So this is actually a kind of a wasted turn here. But it actually helps Rune get his speed back up, so it's actually not a waste. I'm actually okay with that. So Rika will do that. We'll do a Rouse, and then we'll go on to Crosscut again. So yeah, we know Kira's not going to get the advantage. There was a chance that Rune may go first. Whew, Chaz down to 3 HP. Okay. So normally this is, again, a macro E, but Kira being slow... we're damned if we do, damned if we don't either way. So let's see if we can just try to correct this. We need her fast for later. So actually, I'll get her to use the... There's the Swift Helmet. I was thinking, is there... Actually... Because Rika, in theory, is faster right now. So her using the Swift Helmet is actually probably A-okay. We can have Rika as the one using a Stardew. Rune will still continue using the Guard Rod. So we got our 2 healers. We have a Recover. We have a Speed Up. So Chaz can just stick on damage. So we'll use an Air Slash this time. It's less damage, but it hits. So please, other 2, go. Thank you. And I'm hoping that this heals him up pretty high. But Chaz's starting to fall behind a little bit. I'm getting kind of worried. He may die here. Yeah, as I said, he died. This is a very unfortunate chain of events that we're running through right now. So, Recover. Guard Rod. No, not Guard Rod. Sorry, you're on Stardew duty as usual. Guard Rod, and we're chewing through these Soul Dews. We only got 2 left, I think? Yeah, we only have 2 left. This has been very unlucky as far as I'm concerned. So that will heal for 122. So Rika's above 200. Everyone else seems to be A-okay. We got a reprieve finally. So Chaz is the one that died. However, he is 100% on damage duty. So getting a Saner up on him will not really benefit us. So we can actually start using our macros again correctly. And we can use macro D since Ren was the one that took the damage. And start putting out that damage. So 381 there. And that just killed Rika again because she was not topped up, apparently. This game, holy moly. Alright, so we'll do Recover. Stardew. Guard Rod. And since Chaz is the slow one, using a Soul Dew for this is actually A-okay. Since he's the one that's kind of falling behind. Where his action occurs doesn't impact the others later. So, Sleep, Soul Dew, Wake Up? No Wake Up. Okay, so in this case here, we'll have Rendu Flare. Oh, this sucks. Like, no matter how you slice this sucks. I might as well get Rika up to speed again. And we'll do a Rouse to wake up Rika, or Kira, sorry. And then we'll do an Air Slash again, just so I can save my crosscuts for macros. Something's wrong here. Like, she's taking a lot of damage. Just, a lot of times Rika could survive that. But we have a problem, because now our everything's just straight screwed up now. We have no Trimates. This is gambling. How do we want to tackle this? Flare will use a Swift Helm to get Kira's speed back up. I'm going to have... Because Rune's still under the effect of Saner, but Chaz isn't, if I recall correctly. We'll have Rune do Nafwa, but we'll have Chaz try to res Rika, because I'm kind of hoping that Profound Darkness will go before Chaz. That way, no matter what, Rika could live into the following turn. So let's see what happens. Or Chaz gonna be first. Okay, we were just given a free turn. Wow, we're lucky. Okay. So Ren will do Flare. We need to get Rika healed back up again with a quickness, so we'll use Metis on her. She'll do Saner just to get everybody's speed back up to par again. Nafwa and cross-cut, sure, because we need... that hits hard. We need more damage. Again, it's close to 500 right there. This one's been a train wreck. Like, if this was anything else, I think this would have been a wipe. And it didn't even involve a canceling as well. Like these damage rolls are getting kind of ridiculous. I feel like I'm almost missing something here, but I don't think I am. I'm kind of curious to go back and watch this later to see if I actually did screw something up here. So I guess Flare, Nefwa. We can't do that, so we can go on to Double Slash. And let's hope we can res Rune. Hopefully not an AoE. There we go. Okay, so we got a recovery turn now. This is actually kind of dumb. Actually, we're gonna use a Stardew here because we have two people that are low, and normally I would just use Kira's Metis, but I have no Trimates to work with, and we're sitting on a mountain of Stardew, so let's put them to use. So Stardew, Nafwa. Actually, because I was kind of questioning my buffs earlier and what I have up, let's do a round of just in case here. I don't know if my damage, the Profound Darkness's damage rolls were just really high. There's no canceling. It just feels, and I used the macro that, okay, well, actually, let's clarify. Barrier, Warla, Saner. Everyone should be buffed. So, I do not question right now that I am not buffed right now. So let's roll with it here. So Stardew, Nafwa, Saner just get speed up, Nafwa, and Air Slash again just to... Hopefully we can get onto macros here soon. Because this fight's going to be going really slow. Oh god, that doesn't even heal up all the way. Christ. Rika actually maybe... Oh, here we go. So this is the magical 50-50 chance. We may just die right here. So let's find out. We're okay. And there's the Medjid that was going to fall up after that. So Kira may live? She did live. Okay, phew. Okay, we're okay for now. So we're buffed up as best as we can. So let's go on to using our macro E as intended to get ourselves all healed up again. Okay, so single target. We have a macro for that. We have our macro D. Since it's so late in the fight, using Power Shield on Rika now is kind of a waste. So we actually just want to continue pumping out as much damage as we can. So we'll just continue on with our expected macros to keep going. Yeah, if I didn't have 6 Soul Dews, this fight would have been done a while ago. This is pure dumb luck that I had. And take note, every video I had, it was just one and go. I didn't do, it was like, oh, it wasn't perfect. Let's do a little better. No, I just took whatever it threw at me. So we got hit by that again, so we'll need, or Medjid again, so we have to use our macro E to heal everybody up, hopefully. Chaz's HP is starting to get kind of low at the moment. Now she's starting to get a little worried. 199,204, so typically that should be okay. Wow. That was a dumb fight. But I guess it can highlight how badly things can go. And having that little bit of extra money that from the items we picked up at the end actually saved our keisters, I think. So I bought the 3 Soul Dews, so we had a full complement of 6 that you would get throughout. Well, 3 that you pick up as items through the game, then the other 3 as the pickups. Oh. But I was actually genuinely worried that that fight was going to be... Like, that was bad. Like, that was exceptionally bad. That many deaths is dumb. And the fact that I had used a lot of my Trimates earlier made one of the Resi macro kind of invalid to use. Alright. Well, there's no sense going through all the credits here, but that is the game. That is at least my thought process of the run as a whole here. So I'm hoping that it helps to anyone that's watching it or at least interested in learning the run. It helps explain some of what's going on in the notes that are provided. Profound Darkness on its own is it just spills onto a third page. It's 2 pages of here's what's going on, here's what you're supposed to do. But I'm hoping that a lot of just me talking loud for more of the understanding of I'm tackling this, and here's why, and this is why I want to accomplish this, because I'm thinking of turns down the road where things could go even worse. But anywho, I am going to stop this video. So again, thank you very much for watching, and I hope that it either interests you in learning the run, or if you are in the process of learning a run, it helps you get through and be able to finish that first run. All right, have a good night.